and welcome to Cruise Control Motoring. It's that time again to head out on the road and check out what's going on in the automotive industry, new model reveals, new technology, and more. Hello, I'm Fred Staab, and with me, as always, is Les Jackson. Les, how are you doing?
Hey, Fred, doing great. I am all gassed up and ready to go.
Okay.
And we're going to hit the road hard this time because we have an awful lot to talk about.
We sure do, and some of it is involving combustion continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes says its V12 engine isn't going anywhere. That's the engine that's in the S-Class. And BMW plans for gas-powered vehicles well into 2030.
Well, that's saying it is so. And Lexus reveals its new IS, but offers no choice for the drivetrain.
Yeah, that's what I want. No choice.
No choice. That's
Take it
I
or
want to
leave
pay.
it.
I want to pay money and have no choice.
Well, people are missing the V8 there. Maybe they were a bit premature if Mercedes is keeping around the V12. But we'll see. We'll kick it around. We're also going to look at how Nissan is celebrating the Z with a special Heritage Retro Edition. Special editions are a great way to keep the buzz on a vehicle, aren't they?
They really are, most of them are kind of interesting. You know, they're not just a bunch of paint.
Yeah, or stickers
they do
or something.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a new study, and I like this one. That says one brand's owners drive too slowly.
I think you're going to find this very interesting. I'll just tease it at that.
That's right.
And then talking tech, spray-on valve seats replace press-ins. Yep, this is new technology coming to a manufacturer's new engine. What about that?
I have my doubts that something like that will have a long life, but we will talk about it, and I'll keep an open mind.
Yeah, that was my thought when I initially heard it, but apparently it helps with thermal efficiency. We'll tell you all about it and who is using that on a new version of a popular vehicle that's coming to the U.S. All that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control. Les, what do you got for our first story?
Well, it's straight from Mercedes CEO.
Okay.
And he says the V12 isn't dead yet. It's staying into the 2030s. You know it's true. CEO Thomas Schaffer told the Autocar people that Mercedes-Benz confirms it. It's keeping that big V12 in production. It's funny. I've never looked into its fuel economy, but that thing can't be super gas friendly because it puts out a lot of power. But anyway,
yeah,
it's a high-end engine. It's a high-end vehicle. They put it in, and people want it. It's just enough people want it.
Yeah, and they found a way to have it meet the Euro 7 emissions regulations. There's a lot of speculation that it might go hybrid, which would help with those regulations.
Yeah.
Or they might just sell it in certain areas, like they might sell it in the U.S., but not sell it in Europe. So it will survive on, but how it will survive on is interesting. But hey, we'll have to see. I know that is, yes, when you see the V12 call outs on the side of an S-Class, it does kind of say you're the boss, basically.
Well, but the EU has a combustion engine ban for 2035. So you could obviously at that point you have to stop for the EU countries.
Well, and it's interesting. We're going to look at a story a little bit later on where the head of BMW says we're going to just keep building them, and they're going to fight that because they say it could potentially destroy the European market for the car industry. So we'll see if that happens. I'm not so sure it will happen, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with EU politics enough to tell you.
It depends on how many lobbyists you
I don't know. Do they have maybe I don't know. Do they have
I don't know
lobbyists?
how it I don't know how it works over there. Here, we have 12,000 of those little devils over here on Capitol Hill. 12,000 lobbyists.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
let's talk about that story about BMW continuing on. And that is one of their claims that they say the EU could kill the industry and they will not back down on gas cars despite that ban you mentioned in the
Yeah.
European Union, the 2035. They're going to keep building them and they're going to build gas, hybrids, and electrics. So they're hedging their bets all the way around. Later on, we're going to have a story about the new class of vehicles. And I think this is a very interesting story that BMW is going to bring out between now and 2028 40 new models.
Wow.
And you know how I think the headline here is to boil it down. You know how, like, let's say Audi has the Q5 and the Q3, and they sort of look like each other, but smaller?
Right.
BMW says every vehicle will look completely different. There won't be like a family resemblance at all. Each
Wow.
one. So that is really a big thing when you think about it. Always, from whenever I remember cars, you know, most cars look like a smaller or larger version of the same
That's
car.
true. You
Share
had
grille
lots of different
designs.
models,
Yeah.
but they looked. It was very obvious they were all Chevrolets,
Right.
except the Corvair.
Yeah, Corvette, Mustang
Right.
stood out always, but many vehicles were just, especially the bread and butter vehicles, were just
Oh
smaller or
yeah,
larger
yeah.
versions of
But
that
and
vehicle.
think about that. That's 4.5 years,
Of
3.5
40 vehicles.
years.
Yeah.
So if you had the job of developing new vehicles and they said you got 3.5 years to put out 40 new models, would your head explode?
I just changed the nameplates. You'd build
I'd,
the
s-
same thing
I'd,
and
st-
say,
I'd start looking for a new job. I
yeah.
mean, it's not easy to come up with a new model.
No, it's not easy to come up with a new model, and let's talk about that because Lexus has updated one of its models that very popular and actually needed a lot of updating, and that is the Lexus IS. It was one of their oldest models in their setup, and it needed updating, but it came with things like a V8. And
Right.
I remember I had one. We could talk about the review that I did on the IS. It had the V8, it had a red leather interior, and it was very, very, very attractive. But you know, the folks over at Lexus felt there was a total redesign needed. As a matter of fact, the old car still had the pad, the track pad for your finger, and was
Yep.
pretty outdated. I remember when I reviewed the vehicle, I thought, you know, well, would I buy this vehicle for this amount of money, being that it's like 10 years old?
You know, that trackpad always used to remind me of the original Xerox computer. Xerox was the first company to create a mouse,
Mm-hmm.
and the mouse was like a square pack of cigarettes, uh, no shape whatsoever, and it always reminded me of that because it just seemed clunky.
Well, the new LS, well, the new IS is kind of a sports sedan, which you don't see
Hmm.
many this this time around anymore. And it is a good-looking update to the vehicle. A little more chiseled, a smaller front
Yep.
grille. It gets completely refreshed and refined. It has the Lexus Safety System 3.0 and the Lexus interface with a 12.3-inch touchscreen, now standard. What's interesting is they have not gone all haptic on the inside. They do have some dedicated buttons. And I think with the biggest updates on the inside, as I said, because that's really what needed updating. It was kind of ahead of its time when it came out, but you know, like anything on the inside of the vehicle, did not age well. I love the dedicated controls, obviously the ambient light, the red interior, which I think is kind of a signature for this. But drivetrain wise, okay, the older model, you could get a Turbo 4, you could get a V6, and then you could get the mighty V8. But this one is being released, at least, with just a 3.5 liter V6 that produces a very respectable 311 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. There is a rear-wheel drive model, which uses an 8-speed Sport Direct shift, and the all-wheel drive model uses a 6-speed automatic. So that's kind of what we know about the vehicle right now. It looks great. It certainly needed an update. I'll say this: will the V8 come back? I think we'll certainly see other powertrains besides this.
I mean, I have every confidence that the power of the V8 will come back, but I don't know about the engine. Nonetheless, Lexus is just a super quality brand. Toyota doesn't make many mistakes. So, look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't even know when the IS will be in dealerships, but as I said, the only model that is coming out right away is the IS 350. I think we will, and by the way, the IS 350 model will be offered in 2 grades, F Sport Design and F Sport. I think we will see more models brought into the lineup. As you know, they like to get as much PR as possible. So they will probably be bringing more out in a little bit. Hey, special editions are always important to manufacturers, and Mustang is a vehicle that always gets special editions.
That's
right.
right.
The Z from Nissan is one that is now getting special editions. Of course, they had the Nismo, but this edition of the Z is bringing back, a little bit of what would you say, the 80s and 90s, I guess?
Well, actually, the side view at the C pillar, that is pure 240Z. And I applaud them for that, because that was a groundbreaking car. And it wasn't until the Mazda came along that anything came close to the Zs. So it's a slick looking car. I could own something like that.
Okay.
I don't want to pay for it, but I could. I think they've done a really, really nice job.
Yeah. It is basically channeling a lot of the Nissan 300ZX, known by the enthusiasts as the Z32, that was introduced in 1989, 2 decades after the first Nissan Z sports car. Low, wide proportions, extremely short overhangs. It even has a twin turbo badge. I remember when the twin turbo came out, that was a big, big deal for a vehicle from the factory to have that. And this is shot in midnight purple, which is one of the beloved shades of Nissan Performance's history, from the iconic and no longer available GTR, right?
That's right. GTR was way ahead of its time.
Oh, absolutely. It's a car that even today, when you look at some of the older ones, it does not look outdated at all. But I think this is going to be a hit. I think a lot of people will seek this out. I don't know how many they're building, but we can tell you a little bit about the pricing of the 2026 Nissan Z. The Z Sport starts with a 9-speed automatic, $42,970. Same price if you want a 6-speed manual, which is a differentiator there right away.
Yep.
The Z Performance 9-speed automatic, 52,970. The same for the 6-speed manual version. And then the Nissan Z Nismo, which currently just shows a 9-speed automatic, but we know it is going to get also the 6-speed manual
Right.
option because we
And
talked
it
about that last week.
gets another 20 horsepower, so it's 420, thank you very much, horsepower.
Very, very nice. That tops out 65,750. Now the Z has not sold that well. Do you think this Heritage Edition will wake it up, or is it just another cool looking vehicle? It's certainly collectible.
Oh, very much. I hope, I really hope a whole lot of people buy these because they make really, really good performance cars. They've always been pretty much the most performance for the money.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
I love the new one. I love the shape of it. I think it's a good.
I do too.
Yeah. The
This
purple
really
with the gold
appeals to me.
wheels. old
Well,
school.
yeah, I could do without the gold wheels. I'd rather have chrome, but I won't knock it.
Yeah. Cool stuff. And hopefully these will be available and people will be able to get their hands on them. Most collectible version probably would be a Nissan Z Nismo with the manual transmission, I would imagine.
Right.
But we'll have to wait to see when that comes out. So, Les, we always like to kind of look at, well, useless options or kind of ridiculous options. And this week it comes from Porsche. Porsche is bringing out an option for carbon fiber windshield wipers. These things, it is over a $1,300 option for the wiper arms to be made out of carbon fiber to reduce weight. if you're, that reminds me very much of, there used to be a trend of guys ripping out the insulation, that cardboard insulation in their trunk, thinking that their car was going to go a lot faster on the street.
Right. Yes.
Like, wow, you cut out 5 pounds. So this thing is gonna.
Yes, I have to ask the Porsche people why. I mean, it's who cares? A windshield wiper. Maybe you're saving 6 ounces,
Yeah.
if that.
The only thing I can think of is, down the line, you can shout this out that I have a very odd option, and it is the carbon fiber windshield wiper arms. It just seems silly to say it, doesn't it? It's option code 9PC, by the way, if you really want to order it,
Yeah, it's real. As was in the 50s, and it was Chrysler and I believe Lincoln, they offered a cigarette dispenser on the steering column.
Now, dumb, but boy, if you had that today. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean, that is a rare option that I'm sure just people would laugh at, but it's fascinating.
Yes, I'd have to, not that I smoke, but I'd have to go out and buy cigarettes to have it in there to look like.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you can also get, and this has become a big thing, which I laugh at kind of, but color keyed seat belts for $560. That has the Corvette. You can do that in too.
Yeah.
And the orange ones look like the FedEx truck, where they put the orange seat belt on so to make sure you wear it. Yeah. So maybe not the biggest thing you would opt for right away, but $1,300 for carbon fiber windshield wipers is probably not the best either. But
well, exactly. I like the sport design side skirts.
that sounds nice, but what the heck?
Well, I'm
they're
thinking
sport
like,
design.
Are they wheel skirts?
I don't know. I think it's just like a a ledge around the side of the car, for
Yeah.
aero. But
Anyway, it's
anyway,
just I love this stuff.
it will be in
You
the
know,
future. Someone will say it will go through the line at Barrett Jackson, and I'll say it comes with carbon fiber windshield wipers, and somebody will pay more for that. So I guess
yep.
maybe,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
I don't know if you'll
that's
recoup your
money.
$1,300 though. But you have a story, a recent poll, and it deals with owners, certain brands of owners that drive
Hmm.
slow, right?
Well, yes, and there has always been stereotypes for certain cars, certain types of people, like elderly men wearing hats in a car. You
Yeah.
always knew that they would be driving very, very slowly.
Or older Corvette owners, they wear jean shorts, white socks, and
Right,
white sneakers.
right. Um, and they used to wave at each other when
Right.
they would see
Go
one
by.
coming their way.
Yeah.
And it turns out that that hasn't changed. I'm trying to put off telling the brand, Fred.
Okay. I'm going to let you tell the brand for a
I
reason.
know, but anyway, so there is a brand. Well, actually, the article has some examples. They say, when people see a BMW, they think, oh, well, look at this rich guy. He thinks he owns the road. Now, this is something that I have always noticed with uh,
BMWs.
with BMWs and also Range Rovers.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of "I'm more important than you" attitude in the drivers.
I'm going to get
Um,
behind you, tailgate you, and
right,
I think you should be going faster. So I'm going to
exactly,
create a hazard, or I'm just going to cut from lane to lane
and
without using
get it.
signals and
Yes,
leaving a foot of space.
get out of my way.
Yeah, I have a fast
Um,
car.
yeah, and then you have the usually the Asian sports sedans or sports cars with young guys driving, and they're constantly weaving in and out of traffic, but making jerky movements
Yeah.
because they don't understand weight transfer.
Yeah, you don't want to ever be jerky behind the wheel
Never jerks. Make it
because you're going
smooth.
to, yeah.
Smoother is faster.
By the way,
Anyway,
this all comes from Money Supermarket.
right,
They surveyed 5,000 motorists in 20 countries in order to get
exactly.
an international perspective. A thing that you have, an international
And
perspective.
it's they talk about how which cars are lined up for the most likely to speed.
BMW number one on top.
Yep,
I would say that's accurate.
yep.
What else you got?
Mercedes number
Yep.
two, yes.
Yep.
Audi, yes.
Yes.
Tesla, I honestly don't see Teslas speeding.
I do around here. They
Yeah,
speed incredibly.
I
And
s- I
I don't
see
see
them.
Subarus, WRX maybe, but not
Oh yeah, WRX,
Crosstreks
yes, yeah,
and any other model.
yes.
It's so
And for the insurance companies, of course, know these things,
mhm.
and you get penalty points and that sort of thing. Um, but it turns out that there are slow drivers. I personally don't know any.
Captain Slow?
Um, I'm always driving 5 to 9 miles over the speed limit, unless of
Okay.
course safety issues. Um, but I do notice, and I really wish you hadn't found this article. But I do notice fellow Kia drivers tend to be a little on the pokey side.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that, that they rank very high on the slowest driver charts.
Well, we'll call it courteous and polite because that sounds better. I mean,
No, that's,
I'd
yeah,
rather be seen as courteous and polite.
yes. They
So
use their signals, they yield,
Yeah, using signals is
Um,
a big thing. A lot of people don't bother with that
a lot
anymore.
of
It doesn't
well,
matter. You don't get to know where I'm going.
and but around here, I don't know if it's a local thing, but I've certainly noticed it on the East Coast that when people put their signals on, they just jump into the lane. It's like they think it means I'm coming into your lane, get out of the way.
Yes. I also
Uh,
see here where if you do put your signal on, immediately that's the trigger for the person in the other lane to floor it so I can't
exactly.
let anyone get ahead of me.
Ex-
Even if I'm a quarter
ex-
mile back, it means
that's right.
just go wide open throttle to beat that guy before he gets in front of
That's
you.
right.
Yes. Yes.
That
Well,
that happened. It almost happened 2 days ago. I was driving the Cobra. Needless to say, the guy that sped up didn't understand that I was going to speed up also.
yeah.
So,
Well, the most polite drivers, according to this study, is number 5, Honda, Hyundai,
right.
number 4, Kia, 3, Toyota, and Volvo. Okay. I think
Okay.
this makes sense, you know.
Yes, Volvo has always had a reputation of very conservative drivers.
Yeah. And well, safety oriented brand.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So here are some of the assumptions for drivers of brands from this study. Volvo, practical, sensible. Tesla, eco conscious. That's an easy one.
Uh,
BMW, flashy. Hyundai, modest, humble, except if you're driving a N series. Toyota, practical, sensible.
yep.
BMW, arrogant.
I I think that's a little harsh.
Well, you can't judge everyone, but I have to say there is always the BMW guy creating a lane that doesn't exist,
Exactly.
and
Exactly. Uh,
pushing in, like, oh, there's an off ramp. I'll drive up the off ramp and fake everyone out like I'm going to get off, and then at the last minute jam my car
yep.
over so I get 4 cars ahead.
I
Pickup
can't.
trucks also scored poorly
Yes,
and
pickup trucks.
aggressive
Yeah.
tailgating. This comes to us from Money Supermarket. Once again, they surveyed 5,000 motorists, and yeah, I think some of the things hold true. But we want to hear from you. Give us a comment. What drivers do you think in your area are arrogant or slow? What brands do they drive? I think this is pretty much on point, though. What do you think?
I think it's overall pretty accurate.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, let's switch over. I'm not so sure about Volkswagen ID4 drivers, if they are arrogant or not. I never really thought about it per se, but ID4 sales are not going super great. But once again, it's time to bring on the special editions to help out.
Yep.
And this comes in the form of the black package for the ID4. Volkswagen's all-electric ID4, of course, is built in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's got a starting MSRP of $45,095 with the 82 kilowatt hour battery.
Right.
So the black package gives you the black roof and some black trim, blacked out door handles, blacked out mirrors, and looks good. Black wheels.
It's handsome looking.
It is handsome looking. And the with the black package, the price starts at $45,095 for that 82 kilowatt hour battery, and I think it looks good. I mean, this is a good trend. I think Nissan started this with the black roofs, but I like the return of the two tone. I like the black door handles. I like the black wheels. What do you think?
I do too. I just love two tones, no matter what it's on. There's just something about it that it just looks better.
I
Uh,
also think the black bumper is nice because if someone hits
yeah,
you, it kind of hides the scrape marks. But there you have it, the black package from Volkswagen and the 2025 ID4. not a bad thing to check out. Let's talk a little tech, Les, and that involves, valve seats. Valve seats are typically pressed into a cylinder head, and they can be replaced if they have to be, if you're rebuilding the head. But now there's some technology brought out by Nissan that says they will no longer be doing that. They will be actually spraying them to increase thermal efficiency.
This is fascinating. I can see the thermal efficiency because you're not a typical valve seat is a chunk of metal
Right.
with if you have essentially no valve seat and you just have a sprayed on material, you're looking at microns, or at least uh, very, very thin coatings. And so, yes, the heat transfer would be terrific. And I would
Right.
agree. The thermal efficiency in that part of the engine is 42% better. But how long does this thing last?
Well, that's a good point, and I assume they did some testing. They are calling this the biggest change to valve seats since unleaded gas because they had to be hardened
That's
up, right, when the lead went away
yes, that's right.
in gas. So this is going to be in a new Nissan engine, the 1.5T engine, codenamed ZR15DDTE. That's a little e, less.
And yes,
They call it the
I,
Stark concept, STARC.
okay.
They say it increases efficiency, thermal efficiency in gas engines to 42%, which is an
Hmm.
industry leading figure for a gas engine. And the big part of the concept minimizes the turbulence in the airflow as it transitions from the intake port into the combustion chamber.
Okay. Yes.
Reduce
Yes.
turbulence, and it increases what's called tumble flow to allow the engine to become more efficient. The engine is a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder, and it will be the first of the new ZR family engines. So this is going to be spread out throughout the Nissan lineup, and it will be much more efficient than Nissan's variable compression technology that I guess will be less expensive to build and also more efficient thermally. Kind of a risk for the folks at Nissan in their situation, because you don't want to bring something out that all of a sudden results in engine failures, right?
Well, yes. Now this has to have been under hundreds of thousands of hours of testing, and they spray on the valve seat. It's the way they do this. Instead of the metal part, Nissan sprays metal powders at supersonic speeds, like supersonic powder coating, and that lets the metals bond with the aluminum cylinder head like some sort of high-tech metal paint.
Hmm.
The seat is formed, doesn't say how thick it is. Obviously, they still have to grind it to an angle,
I would imagine
but
so, yeah.
I mean, they can't be that accurate. So it's called a cold spray surface, copper-based alloy.
Hmm.
Uh, I, I would love to see one of these.
And by the way, spray-on cylinder wall coatings have been around for decades, but
Yeah, they have.
they have used molten metal spraying or electroplating. So, this engine will probably show up on the next generation Rogue, which is not that far off.
No,
They must have tested this very well, because
sure hope so.
it means, though, you can't replace the valve seats anymore. I doubt your local shop will have the supersonic
No, and the question is,
metal
if it
shooter.
if it wears out at 100,000 or 150,000 miles, do you have to throw the engine away, or can it go back to the engine factory and be resprayed.
I think we're reaching a point where engines are disposable. You look at a lot of things I've been watching on YouTube and mechanics doing teardowns, and that's it. It's like it's kind of the cars are becoming disposable. Not
Yeah,
worth the
yeah,
price to fix. And it's. I think that's going to be the way to get for lightweighting. Most new vehicles have plastic pans, oil pans. So
that's right.
you can
And
ruin that
actually,
by taking it to your local oil change place, and the guy puts like a breaker bar and and a torque wrench on the plug that's in plastic, right?
that's right. Yeah. So no, I see that. And in fact, if you go way back, the Beatles, the original Beatles, were designed with essentially throwaway engines. When they were originally designed, they were that little 35 horsepower air cooled engine was designed to last something on the order of 50,000 to 60,000 miles, at which time um, it would wear out or burn up, and you simply replace it.
Right.
But of course, Volkswagen never thought that they would sell uh, 20 million of these things. So they started making them more reliable, but not that reliable, but still more reliable.
Right. Right. So I don't know. I
Yes.
don't know if it's an automotive trend or what, but it because of and it's a very harsh environment. An engine is a very
Yeah.
harsh environment. Heating and cooling cycles and solvents and gasoline in the oil and all
That's
kinds
right.
of things. Heat, hot coolant, and then it cools down, and you're starting it in all different temperatures. It's sitting
Hmm.
outside, cold soaking or heat soaking, and it's a harsh environment.
It's a very hostile environment in the engine.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. Well, while we're on Nissan, let's talk about a vehicle, the Nissan Kicks, that goes into a new thing we're going to call the Under 30 Club. You know,
yes.
you and I have been talking about this a lot, where we say vehicles now they sell for 48,000. That's the average price, but you don't have to spend that much money. So we're going to be looking out for our audience as to vehicles that are under 30, maybe under 35. We can even do under 40 if you like, but this is certainly in the under 30 category. 2026 Nissan Kicks now has available all-wheel drive, which is a big upgrade. That's something that was missing for this. It has a standard 12.3-inch infotainment system featuring wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, front USB-C ports,
Hmm.
and you have a wide range of vehicles, all of them under $30,000. Even the top of the range one, I have to do the math, but even with destination added, I believe that is under it. You can get leather seating surfaces, a lot of different colors. It has the best-in-class available rear cargo space with 30 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats raised and 60 feet when they're lowered. And it's designed, the cup holders, Les, you'll be happy to know this, are designed around fitting a 30-ounce coffee tumbler and bottle holders in the doors that can accommodate 32-ounce Yeti tumblers.
You
So
know, that's
you'll
right.
be
And
hydrated and caffeinated.
you'll be well hydrated. The fact is, the Kicks, all of them, come extremely well equipped. These are not loss leaders or stripped down vehicles. They're just a bargain,
Yep.
and they're reliable, and people love them. I see them on the road all the time.
Now, mileage is not bad at all for this vehicle. 28 city, 35 highway with the front wheel drive model, and 27 city, 34 highway with the all-wheel drive. So you really don't, you lose 1 mile per gallon and gain
Yeah,
all-wheel drive.
quite. It's really something to go look at.
Now let's talk a little bit about the pricing, right? And this is our under 30 vehicle for this
Right.
edition of Cruise Control Motoring. Kicks S front wheel drive starts at $22,430. You have to add $1495 to all of these prices I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
because that's destination handling. That's just the way it is. It's expensive, but that's just the way it is today. So it's part of it. And then the SV, next step up front wheel drive, is $24,170. To get into they have this a little bit backwards, but to get into a Kicks S all-wheel drive, $23,930. So that is your first version of the vehicle with all-wheel drive, $23,930.
That is the least delta cost for an all-wheel drive version of any car I can think of.
Step up to the Kicks SV all-wheel drive, and that is $25,820. And then if you go all in, the Kicks SR all-wheel drive, $28,160. So even if you add that $1,400, I haven't done the math, but
Yeah, that's just really
you're
a
closing in
bargain.
on 30, but that's their under 30 pick. Would you buy a Nissan now with all the trouble they're having?
Well, again, I would, because if I buy a car, I buy it until the wheels fall off.
Okay.
I don't have a timeline in mind, so I don't care about resale value.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did care about that, and if I leased, well, of course you can lease one. You got nothing to lose there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you habitually trade in your cars every 4 or 5 years, I think you're going to take a bit of a hit with a Nissan.
Yeah. Interesting. But at this price level nowadays, to get an all-wheel drive vehicle,
Yeah, it's just
decent mileage, all the latest safety and infotainment, great first car, I would say, wouldn't you?
a terrific first car. And man, I find the price hard to believe. They can build this thing all-wheel drive and everything else with all of the safety features and comfort features. Marvelous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, let's take a look at what also is coming up on this edition of Cruise Control Motoring. We have a lot more to get to. We're going to look at BMW's new class. I'm saying that in an Americanized way. The iX3 hits the road. It's a new look. They've got a new interior design, a lot of new technology, and they say this is just the beginning because they're getting ready for 40 new vehicles. They're going to have all different looks, the vehicles, by 2028. So they got their work cut out for them. They're going to be ordering a lot of pizza on the weekends, don't you think?
They sure are. They sure are. And Honda is pricing out the 2026 Ridgeline, the Honda pickup truck that all the owners never want to sell them.
Yeah, it's a good value. I thought, is this a competitor to the Ford Maverick? But not really, because it's actually more expensive than the Ford Maverick. So,
not really.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Unless Mercedes does a real-world test of solid-state batteries. They have a test vehicle that ran well over 700 miles. Of course, solid-state batteries, kind of a future technology that is starting to emerge. And they will be lighter, more compact, and easier to charge in a quicker fashion, and hopefully avoid things like battery fire. So
I'm getting really excited about solid state batteries. It's first of all, it just is more efficient. Solid state everything is more efficient.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's it's physics in action. It's really uh, using um, a lot of high level physics. So uh, let me at them.
Okay. And then over at Polestar, the Polestar 5 Grand Tourer is revealed. They're next in the Polestar lineup. Good looking vehicle, kind of a wide hipped, chiseled look. And I think Polestar's doing some great things. That's going to start around 119.9 euros. But look at the side silhouette of this thing. That is a gorgeous
Yeah,
vehicle. I like it a lot. And yeah, it's a sedan. Go figure, Les
it's
Jackson.
it's really it's a cool looking thing. It doesn't remind me of any particular other kind of car.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little Lamborghini-ish.
Yeah. Yes. And then over to Rome. Yes, Pope Leo gets a BMW Motorrad for a great cause, which is kind of really cool. And those are cool motorcycles. He won't be keeping it, by the way. He will be donating it for a good cause, but
That's
cool
right.
photo.
And
And
he'll
there
sign
was
it.
yeah, and he did sign it. Yes. And over in Poland, apparently there was a guy driving a Formula One car on the street. He'd been doing this for years, and the police finally caught up with him. Um, and now he's got some explaining to do, right?
Well, how can you not get caught driving any Formula One car on the highway? I mean, they can't catch you, but they can find you.
As they say, you can't outrun Motorola. Yes, they'll block the road and
You
say, pull
cannot
off. Yeah.
outrun radio.
Yeah.
And how many Formula One cars are there sitting around? It's pretty easy to find who owns them.
Also, it would be possibly the worst street car you could ever have in the world.
I can't imagine anything worse. It's getting 4 miles to the gallon, and it's just it's so delightfully stupid.
Well, let's jump into the brand new model revealed this week from BMW. It is the iX3. This is the first of their new class vehicles. It is the X3 kind of, but all electric. They've given it a new look on the outside and on the inside. A ton of new technology. They call it a dawn of a new era. And believe it or not, the price on this thing is not all that terrible as far as new cars go, and has an all-new look on the inside. Unlike certain other vehicles that have just a giant computer monitor sitting on the dashboard, they have come up with a way to have a kind of a display that goes from A pillar to A pillar that is not that tall, but it is very wide. That will give you the settings for the vehicle, what gear you're in, that type of thing, radio stations, and then a unusually shaped monitor that will show you things like navigation and your temperature controls and your fan speed and things like that. And a lot of it is controlled from the steering wheel, which is kind of interesting. This has a estimated range of 400 miles. That's according to the testing in Europe. They have a lot of fun things in here. They say it has 4 super brains that will do the calculations for the car. And they call the drivetrain the Heart of Joy drivetrain. Which enables unmatched poise, assurance, and precision.
Okay.
That's a press release right there. So what do you think of this? I mean, it is totally a clean sheet for BMW, and it is a new beginning for them, basically, right?
Well, it is a new beginning, and of course they've got a tremendous following worldwide and here. So I think that a lot of people will be waiting for these.
Is it too
And
much for the average BMW buyer, or is it just right? Is it something they want? They want the cutting edge technology.
I think about half the BMW buyers want the cutting edge, and they don't really care what the cutting edge is. The traditional BMW buyers, and I know two of them who have been buying BMWs for 40 years, um, they tend to, first, they tend to be scared off by the price. But secondly, they don't like things like the more stylized grills and all the lights on the as trim.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that falls as a generational difference rather than a big concern.
Well, let's talk about the price. Once again, this is an estimated 400 miles of range. It uses cylindrical cell high wall voltage battery and new electric motors in the heart of joy drivetrain. I love that.
Oh yeah,
800-volt architecture, right? And they're
right.
saying it should price out to start the BMW iX350 X Drive will start around $60,000. That's
Well,
not that's not
that's
for BMW crazy.
no, that is not. That's kind of middle of the road for BMW pricing.
Yeah. Um, they say the front end is a new interpretation of the classic four-eyed BMW face. I'm wondering if the interiors are a bit too much for some. I mean, what I love about this interior is they've come up with a way that the instruments are not blocked by the steering wheel
Right.
without just
Yes.
going to one big monitor in the center of the dash like Tesla does, which I find is too simplistic and also
I just don't like those. I agree. I'm a little concerned about how many buttons and things there are on the steering wheel because it kind of makes you look down too much.
mm-hmm.
But once you drive it and you get used to it, then you get muscle memory and you know where things are. Um, I'm not. I love the 3D navigation system. I'm not thrilled about the dodecahedron shape. Uh, it's
It does sort of look like an X3 too, which I think is one of BMW's great looking vehicles.
right,
Um,
right.
you know, I there's something to be said for getting a little bit out there and the new class and kind of breaking the mold. But I don't know. I really don't know. Uh, a lot of people drive BMWs around here. Would this be too much? I certainly look forward to trying it and putting it through its paces, but it might be a little bit too much for people. Um, and maybe they're a little bit ahead of the curve on that, but everything's newly designed seats and a choice of interior colors and materials. They have what they're calling that feature on the dash is called panoramic iDrive. So it's a completely different
Ah,
take on iDrive, but I like that you're looking up. You will have to build muscle memory with those switches on the steering wheel, so you don't have to look down. Looking at it, it looks like it might be a little complex to operate, which I think
well,
is a
nothing
problem.
is as complex as the original iDrive.
That was They built a car that basically I couldn't drive. There's an
Yeah,
intelligent personal assistant. Who wouldn't want that?
that's
Uh,
right.
and adaptive assistant
Yeah.
that turns into an intelligent digital companion. Now that's weird.
I mean, it is out there. I mean, I will say that.
Hmm.
I don't, again, I think it might turn off the old traditional buyers, but the newer buyers, younger buyers, they want a rolling office.
Hmm.
And they just love new stuff, you know.
Well, here's one thing I love. Look at this. BMW, short charging times. The advances are brought by the sixth generation BMW eDrive technology. Maximum
Mhm.
charging rate of 400 kilowatts enables users to add up to 230 miles of range in 10 minutes at an 800-volt DC charging station. Now, I don't know how common they are, but that is pretty amazing.
That's quite impressive. Now the question is, how often can you do this without stressing the battery? And
They
uh,
say it's designed to not, they do it in such a way with technology that will protect the battery. Now, who knows? I'll take it. I'll take it at that. From the Wallbox Professional charger, they can charge up to 19.2 kilowatt hours, and if you have a
yeah,
grade 2
that's
charger in your house, that's not bad either.
not bad.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Let us know. Will the heart of joy bring you sheer driving pleasure, or is the technology and the interior controls just too much on the brand new class iX3? Well, the iX3 is just the first of many BMW designs, Les. They say they're going to have 40 new models coming out by 2028 with bold, unique designs. They call it design beyond the nesting doll, meaning that the 3 and 4 and 5 series won't look like just bigger versions of each one, bigger or
Right,
smaller
right.
versions, which is really breaking away from the tradition of automotive design. That's actually a big story.
That is a big story. Practically all manufacturers over the years have you know continued design after design, either refreshed or even new, uh, maintaining a certain look. And that's the nesting doll thing, the famous Russian dolls that one's inside of the other and the
Right.
others. So this is this is a bold step.
Yeah, very bold step. We'll see how it works out for them. But hey, we will keep you up to date on all 40 of those new products as they come out. One that's a little bit more traditional is the Honda Ridgeline. And Honda Ridgeline has its fans. It's sort
Yep.
of somewhere between a car and a pickup truck. The current version of it is a little bit more truck like. And we're going to talk about what's new for the 2026 model year and do some pricing. It's a good looking vehicle. Remember, they made that gap between the bed and the rear doors there on purpose to make it look more truck like. So new for 2026, the Ridgeline Black Edition is available with contrasting black roof. Ridgeline Trail Sport is also available to make it a little bit tougher. Gets the exclusive ash green metallic paint, highlighting the Ridgeline's rugged
Yep.
design. And it is the 20th anniversary of the first generation Ridgeline launch, and that introduced
Wow.
many segment first. Yeah, that was a big
Time
deal
flies.
when
That
that was
was a
launched.
big deal. It's hard to believe it was 20 years.
Starting MSRP of $40,595. That's for the well-equipped Ridgeline Sport. And then it goes up from there. I mean, the RTL is the next setup at $44,890. That's with the MSRP, also $14,995. The Trail Sport, $47,290. And then the Black Edition, which is the top of the range, $48,690. So it's not. Some people say, is that a competitor to the Ford Maverick? Not at $48,690, is it?
No, no, but and again, it's not really a pickup truck. It's much more like a car. Obviously, it can carry stuff, uh, but it's more of a niche vehicle
Yeah.
than a across the board, being competitive with a whole bunch of other guys because there aren't any other competitors in reality. I think I agree with you. The Maverick
Maybe
is, you
maybe
know,
Hyundai Santa Cruz.
maybe Hyundai certainly is trying with the Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Um,
Good news here. I mean, it has a 5,000 pound towing rating, which means you could
that's
tow a
quite
lot
good.
of smaller trailers that are, down there in the 3,000
Yeah. Oh
mile,
yeah.
3,000 pound mark. It is built in America exclusively at the Lincoln, Alabama plant, and that they've been building down there for 45 years. So that's good news for tariffs. Um, Good looking vehicle. Some nice few updates. Pricing is up there, but it has its fans. Of course, it has the locking storage in the trunk or bed, whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
Yeah, one thing I read, the Ford is coming out with a new architecture, affordable architecture, small vehicle. It might be the size of the Maverick, but it will be electric powered. Uh,
Hmm.
there's some talk they have relicensed the name Ranchero for that.
Huh. Well,
Wouldn't that
that
be
would be,
interesting?
yeah, they should. I love the traditional names that some of the manufacturers use. And again, back to the Ridgeline, the people who own them just don't get rid of them.
No, no, they like them. They like them a lot. They like them
Yep.
a lot. Hey,
So it's yeah.
let's do a little talking tech here, Les, and let's talk about solid state batteries. And we know one manufacturer had built a plant or a prototype plant to build these. And now Mercedes, using its EQS, has tested this real world. And they did a long trip where they used solid state batteries, 749 miles on a single charge. If you
Mm.
think about that, that's what, a couple of months use of range around town,
Oh
basically.
yeah, sure. And the fact is, a 749-mile trip. I guess that's like from here to St. Louis.
Well,
Uh, it's a long trip.
they went from no charging at stops at all, from Stuttgart, Germany, all the way through Denmark into Sweden. Total distance covered 749 miles. And they even had remaining 85 miles of range. So they had
Jeez.
plenty of range to find another charger. It is they call it Formula One technology, solid state battery developed with Mercedes and AMG high performance powertrains, and cells from US based solid state cell manufacturer Factorial Energy, which is exciting. Um, it truly is an exciting time to see this type of development, and also we're seeing combustion engines still involved. It's quite interesting. Think if we didn't have this, we'd just be talking about SUVs constantly. And
It is an exciting time because we're we've lived through just the regular old days of standard internal combustion engines most of our lives. Then all of a sudden we get hybrids and battery technology, and of course the combustion engines have been just dramatically cleaned up over the past 40 years. So they really deserve a lot of credit for how clean they run,
and
which
not
makes them reliable.
And not only that, Les, we have been getting new manufacturers involved, and
Yep.
one of them is Polestar. Polestar is revealing their 5 Grand Tourer. This is a gorgeous looking vehicle. And it comes in to a couple of different ranges and these are European prices in euros. It starts at about 119,900 euros for the Polestar dual motor, and about 142,900 euros for the Polestar 5 Performance.
Okay. Well,
But listen to some of this technology, because I get to say the word that annoys you so much. It has a bespoke Polestar bonded aluminum platform and an in-house developed motor and an 800-volt electrical architecture with a 650 kilowatt hour output and 115
that's, yeah.
nm nano
Newton meters.
Newton meters total
Newton
output.
meters.
It runs the Android TM Automotive OS with Google built in, and a high level of standard equipment, as you would expect. Just look at those gorgeous wheels, man. That is,
It just looks so well made.
yeah.
Amazing.
It was inspired by a concept, and they say they have kind of faithfully tried to keep a lot of the Polestar design concept in this vehicle. Signature dual blade headlights, pixel LED technology in the headlights, the relationship between the wheel and bonnet line, and I just think it's a gorgeous vehicle. It really does make a statement. 4+1 seating, meaning that in the back someone can sit in the in the console, which flips up. Believe it or not, although
Yeah,
I don't think that
that's
will be
right.
better than walking. Natural fiber materials are used throughout the interior, including the Polestar signature weave design, front seat back. So, will this be coming to the U.S.? I would imagine it will be, but we don't know, really. 0 to 100 kilometers in 3.2 seconds for the performance variant.
Okay, that's fast.
Top speed, 155 mile an hour for both the dual motor and the performance. So it's quite the machine. Aluminum bonded, so I guess that's some kind of high end adhesive to make this thing stay together, right?
Well, very much like commercial airplane wings.
Yes.
Hey folks, they're bonded. They're glued together.
Bonding is gluing. Yes.
I know I'm scaring you on this, but that's how they do it.
That's how they do it. Hey, you're always up for a good resto mod, aren't you?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Well, how about this? How about an all carbon fiber Mustang? Trick Rides is building 20 of these. They're an all carbon wide body 1969 Mustang. I have to say, 69 was one of my favorites. I know it got bigger and all this, that, and the other thing, but I liked it. I liked the shape of it. I liked the look of it.
Yeah, it was really quite dramatic in its time, and it was they had a lot of nice powertrains, and
Yeah.
it was bigger, but it was still all Mustang.
Well, this is one of 20 examples. They're calling this wide body build Scorched, right? And is the first all carbon 1969 Mustang built entirely with CAD and an advanced 3D scanning technology at aerospace level precision. Now, if you had this, I wouldn't paint it. I would just clear coat it with that. But that clear coat's very expensive. Remember when they would do it on the Corvette
Oh yeah.
T-top or the Corvette removable top, I should say. This is beautiful. And imagine that just clear coated. It would look crazy. So you can get one of these built. by Trick Rides. Of course, they're going to have this at SEMA. And you got a couple of engine options, the VMP supercharged 5-liter Coyote V8, a 429 cubic inch CAS Boss 9, or a Ford Performance 427-inch V8. You get it's paired, all those engines, I believe, are paired with a Tremec T56 6-speed manual and a custom exhaust with stainless works headers and MagnaFlow mufflers. And all of this goes on a Roadster Shop chassis. Roadster Shop does incredible chassis for older muscle cars and Corvettes and things like that. And it has Fox coilover equipped independent front suspension and parallel 4-link rear and oversized sway bars for increased stability. Forge line 3-piece wheels. I think this is going to be expensive, but you can go over to trickrides.com and order it up. What do you think?
I think it's really cool. And yes, it'll be expensive, but what you got there is an ultra modern, state-of-the-art drivetrain and rigidity and all that 69 Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
That is, that is every bit as perfectly made as any modern factory car.
And it's a wide body, so you can dump.
It's the best of both worlds. You want to drive this, you want to drive a 69 Mustang, but you want it to be your everyday car or whatever. This is it.
What do you think pricing on this would be? I guess it depends how you build it up, but I would say between 500 and $1 million.
I was kind of thinking it might be below 500, but not much below it.
That's for the 6-cylinder, the straight 6. Can I use I want to buy a, like $100,000 carbon fiber Mustang body, and can I go out and just get like an old 6-cylinder?
Can I get a Maverick straight 6?
There you go.
And drum brakes.
I don't have money I have money for the body, but not for the,
Yeah.
Hey, here's a fun story. An incredible promotion for good involving Pope Leo and BMW motorcycles, Motorrad. It is a Motorrad R18 Transcontinental. It was specially modified with the papal crest on the back. The Pope signed it, and it was driven through multiple countries, and it was going to be auctioned off for helping kids in Madagascar. But I think it's wonderful. I think it's neat. It's quite a cool looking motorcycle.
It is very cool looking, and BMW makes the smoothest driving motorcycles.
Yes. They even gave him an old school helmet with the crest on there.
I still have my old school helmet.
Wouldn't it be something if he jumped on that and said, "Hey, let me try it out," and took off on
That would,
he actually looks good sitting on it. I mean,
he does look good, and I'll bet he could probably do it. Although he's, his handlers probably say it's too dangerous. But
I just love the concept of the older bikers in the back with the Pope in the front and the motorcycle. It's just a great photo. But
that thing is going to go for a lot of money. Something the Pope sat on and autographed.
Yeah. I think hats off to that type of promotion, and it's good. It's for good, and it's fun, and wow. Imagine the PR guy saying, "Hey, I got an idea here. Would the Pope like to get involved with the BMW motorcycles?" I just would like to hear that pitch. It's like, hey, I'll run it by him. I'll see what he thinks. And here's another story, Les Jackson. Apparently in Poland, for a number of years, there's been a guy driving around in a Formula One car on the street. And there have been reports of him on the highway. There's been footage of it on the track zone. YouTube channel. He was riding in concert with F40 Ferrari and some other supercars, some Corvettes too. But apparently, this guy's been doing this from quite some time, and they actually caught him. And as you can see, the police had they wanted some discussion with him, I would say, right?
Well, yeah. Now well, I first of all, I have to confess that he's my cousin, Olav Jaksinovich.
He's been doing this
It-
since 2019. I mean,
that's phenomenal. I just first of all, I love the fact that he's doing it. He's not hurting anybody. Well, he ain't going to do it anymore.
no.
But to keep this F1 car running,
Yes.
F1 cars, the engines have to be kept on life support.
Well, there was a little bit of a detail in this vehicle that it was actually built for what would now be called Formula 2.
Okay.
I don't know what. Yes, you're right. He can't keep the engine sitting there with oil flowing through it. There's actually footage of him pulling into a gas station. They all gas up, so it must be able to run on pump gas somehow. And of course, he pulls away from the pump and he lights the tires up. But I almost don't think that was intentional. I think that's the way it works.
That's the way. Formula One car only weighs 1,200 pounds or so.
Right. So he was cited for not having headlights or turn signals, which you could put them on real easy today with little LEDs, and he said it wasn't him when he was stopped, that they were towing the car. They weren't driving it. But problem is when you post it on YouTube and there you are driving along behind an F40 Ferrari, you're probably driving. You probably say like, yeah, that was me.
Well, do we know how fast he's ever gone in this thing?
I don't think we know that. But the car, we know a little bit about it. It was the Delaria GP2/08. It was originally designed for the Formula 2 championships, but does not have required headlights, indicators, or number plates to be legally operated on. So, actually, this comes to us from the BBC. What will we be charged with? I don't know. It's maybe it's just some equipment violations.
Yeah, just equipment stuff. They had to physically, if he was speeding, they would have to witness it.
Yeah, and if he pulled over when they pulled him in,
sure.
So thanks to information from drivers, we stopped at a Formula One driver this morning in the village of Book. So somebody called it in. I don't know. Yeah. If he was like racing around crazy, maybe. But if he's just driving along, I'll be like, that's strange, but okay.
He's probably he's probably going fast, but he's probably just driving.
Well, the footage I saw, he was in the right lane and there were other cars alongside of him, so.
Yeah, and it's.
He was suddenly surrounded by cruisers and a helicopter. But that's pretty weak to leave it go on since 2019.
I just when you think you've seen everything, you find out you haven't.
Yeah. It's something to do. Could you make it legal with stoplights and plates? And you probably have to put fenders on it, right? Although you don't have to do that on street rods.
You have, yes, you have to have fenders. You have to have certain, I don't know about your 5-mile-per-hour bumpers.
No, but he does have good seat belts, I'm sure.
He's got great seat belts, great brakes.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, there you go. But eventually they all get caught. I just think it's just a crazy thing to do, but that's what happens in the car world sometimes. So, hey, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control Motoring. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
we are going to see you down the road.